So if we take a look at the issues that are occurring across the globe, we will find that some people just look at the media and they say, okay, that's the problem. Yes, now I know where I was. Okay. So the internal politics amongst the Muslimin, there will come a time when, like I said, if one politician makes a mistake, even though he is a brilliant politician, everyone makes mistakes, by the way, those who are against him or who belong to a different political party may use the opportunity for this one mistake that was made to ignore the 500 things that he did that really resulted in the development of his ministry, for example, and they will bring him down based on that one item, knowing perhaps or ignoring the fact that there may not be a suitable alternative. Are you following what I'm saying? So they are not worried about the nation, they are worried about themselves. This is what happens. When you are worried about the nation, you go to the minister, or you go to the MP, or you go to whoever it is, and you address the matter in a beautiful way, and you are patient with it, and you make sure that you keep trying, because you have, like I gave a similarity of a painting. It's actually a very good similarity. I'm thinking of it now, because it takes a long time to paint, and it takes 1 minute to break or to splash other paint over it that destroys it. You know, the painter has a beautiful painting, one mistake in it, for example, it doesn't make the painting bad. So what happens in Islam as well, as a religion, the people of different sects, they become opportunists. What do? When they see that the world has an issue, and perhaps people are now concerned about security and safety, they quickly begin to portray that a certain group is the problem. Do you know what? Actually, if you studied it deeply, if you looked very deep, you would realize it's qualities that are a problem. Extremism exists in a lot of different sects and faiths. And like I said at the beginning, even people who don't belong to any faith. Even amongst atheists, you have bigots. You have people who are so passionate about what they call towards that they don't give the others an opportunity to even open their mouths. So how do we have to combat this? By preaching and promoting tolerance and coexistence. Live and let live. You want to follow this opinion? No problem. You don't want to follow this opinion? It's okay. Let me give you some examples, because I want to get it straight to where I'm going. Look, if, for example, a person decides that, you know what, I want to cover my face. Tell them, okay, for as long as you're not being forced, for as long as you firmly believe within yourself that that is something you need, and for as long as you don't shove your opinion down the throats of the others, you're okay, you're good to go. And there is someone else who says, I don't want to. Well, we've got to tell them, look, the same rule, exactly the same needs to be said to them. For as long as you believe this, for as long as you do not shove your opinion down the throats of the others, I'm talking here from a political perspective as well. That's your opinion. We may want to discuss the issue. You know, we call it da'wah in Islam. In the political circles, they don't really call it da'wah, but it is. It's calling towards your opinion. What am I doing? I'm trying to convince you why I believe at least you should cover your hair, for example. But that doesn't make me a bigot. What makes me a bigot is when I don't allow others to have their opinions or to express them. That's what it is. You know, I faced a problem, an issue, because I once made a statement, and this is something that I'm making mention of. The reason is we're talking here to youth, and we're talking here to people, inshallah, who will be leaders. You know, as you progress, you learn, you develop, you change, you know, sometimes your strategy changes, sometimes even your ideas may change. If they are guided a lot of the times with revelation, then there will be minimum changes, because it all goes back to revelation. But I want to give you something quite simple that you will all relate to. I'm sure you heard of this issue of Merry Christmas. Did you hear it? You heard it. Oh, so people started saying, Mufti Menk said you shouldn't say Merry Christmas to the Christians. I'm sure you heard that. Why do you want to just take a small piece of the statement and hold it out like this and make it seem like we are people who do not believe in, you know, a multicultural coexistence, multi-religious coexistence and so on? Let me tell you, I was asked about it recently in Singapore. And the reason I'm making mention of this is to show you that, look, we're not stupid. But sometimes people who want to look at it based on how the media has portrayed it may come to a decision or a conclusion that is not enlightened. They haven't considered everything. So what happened? You see, I grew up in Zimbabwe. We interacted from a young age with the Hindus, the Christians, the Jews, those who are from the African traditional faiths and so on, and we got along. We mixed in the schools from a young age, and as I grew up, I went to a high school that was purely Christian Catholic. That was the best option we actually had. They allowed me whatever I had, and obviously we catered for them, they catered for us. There was a lot of respect, and that's how we developed, okay? However, when it came to Christmas, there were so many Christians who didn't believe in it. They said, no ways, this is wrong. I recall a young boy, I even know his name, and he was with me. He didn't used to like to participate in religious studies because he belonged to a certain sect of Christianity. And he used to say, these guys don't know what they're talking about because X, Y, and Z, and he gave his reasons. That's not the topic today. But there are Christians who don't believe in Christmas. They don't participate in it. Is there anything wrong if they don't believe in Christmas, Christians? There's nothing wrong. They didn't participate in it. There's nothing wrong. But the minute they put a block on someone else who believes otherwise, then there's a problem. That's what we're saying. So the question you have to ask yourself, did you stop people from celebrating what they want? No. Did you ban them? No. Did you disallow them? Did you spread hatred against them? No. All you said is, Lakum dinukum waliya din. You have your faith and I have mine. So as we grew up, there were a few Hindus who were with me at school. One of them used to eat beef. And I asked him, I said, how come you eat beef? Isn't this supposed to be one of the gods that you consider, a god with respect to them, with due respect to them? But he says, no, this is a special beef. I didn't understand that, but it was just that, okay, I'm not such a strict Hindu. That's what it meant. There were other Hindus who would tell him, listen, you are wrong. There were other Hindus who told him you are wrong. And there were other Hindus who tried to correct him. But he kept on eating it. And then, when it came to Eid al-Adha of the Muslimin, they would never congratulate us. Why? Because we are sacrificing or slaughtering their God, so to speak. We never ever felt bad. Don't expect, and please don't expect a Hindu to tell you Eid Mubarak at Eid al-Adha. Respect them and understand that what you are doing is blasphemous to them, but they've allowed you to continue. It doesn't mean they hate or they are intolerant. It just means that they believe differently and they have a separate system of belief, and it would be insulting to them to actually come onto this side here and tell you, look, as much as you're cutting my God, but well done, welcome, enjoy it, enjoy that. You don't expect it. Come on, use your brain. This is what tolerance and coexistence is all about. It's not about a statement. It's more about allowing them to believe what they have to, with respect in a way that you respect what they have as well. That's all it is. So what happened is, as time passed, it was amazing, because when it comes to the other faiths, we found the same. People didn't participate in some rituals of other faiths. That did not make them bigots, but they respected each other. There was a young man who became a Muslim from the Hindus. The day they were, when they die, what happens is they burn the body. They cremate that body. So this young man, his father had died, and they were cremating the body, and they asked him as the oldest son to actually light the fire. And he said, look, as much as you want me to do it, and that's my father, I'm sorry, it goes against my beliefs. And it caused a commotion until some of those who were wise, who knew, they said, look, that's the man's beliefs. Come on, leave him. Let the next son do it. How can you impose on him some? The idea is to coexist with your difference. That's what makes you a rainbow nation. That's what it is. But you don't shove your opinion down the throats of others. Just like now, in the Western world, they are banning you from covering your hair in some countries. That would create another problem. Why? Like the Honorable Minister said, it would make people feel that they are at war with the system, because, hey, you know what? This is my basic right to believe something. I believe this is wrong. I believe this is right. That's the idea. So, from among the Muslims, there are those who believe that it's okay to participate in Christmas. And from among the Christians, there are those who believe that it's not okay to participate in Christmas. Look at the irony. But the idea is, if you believe that, by all means, go ahead. You're answerable to Allah, not to me. If this one believes otherwise, go ahead. But please don't impose it on me. If I don't want, it's one of those things. Come on. You know, live and let live. Today, the problem is with all parties. We believe we are the only ones who are right. So we want to shove our opinions down the throats of the rest of the world. If not, they are the problem, they are the terrorists, they are the issue, they are this, that. Watch out. The words you are using will be used against you as well. Be careful. So this is why we say, as I grew up, still we used to sit and eat together as young boys. College. You know, you have your lunch, they have their lunch. We knew that if you have a beef burger, please don't offer it to the Hindus. It's insulting. It's blasphemous. They would actually feel so hurt. Don't. Would you ever, if you have Hindu friends, actually tell them, hey, have some beef? I don't think so. Exactly the same could be said about pork and the Muslims. Do you agree? Imagine if your friend says, just is a pork burger, come on, bacon tastes nice, you know, come on, you know. How would you feel? They respect you. You get along with them. You build the nation. You contribute towards the building of the nation together. Do you know that? But you have different dietary restrictions which are respected. So, this is something that we need to talk about. It's got nothing to do with this person is intolerant. There is a big difference between difference of opinion and intolerance. Very big. I can differ with you right now. I can differ with you on 100 matters, but I'm so tolerant. I promote tolerance. I promote coexistence. I promote the fact that all of us should contribute towards the development of our nation. Here in Malaysia, you have people, you have the Chinese, you have the Malays. On the other hand, you have Muslims, you have Buddhists, you have perhaps people who belong to Christianity, maybe even, you know, Jewish people, whatever other faiths. I don't know how the nation is made in terms of, you know, the various faiths, but I'm sure there are more than 20 or 30 different faiths. Look at the civil service. You will have people belonging to every race and to every religion, and they are serving the nation. That's what they're doing. What are they doing? Serving the nation. So as a Christian, he might want to invite you to Christianity. As a Muslim, he might want to invite you to Islam. As a Buddhist, they might want to invite you to Buddhism. That's part of life. Everyone engages in their da'wah. So as Muslimin, our duty is to portray and present Islam in a way that when they see the way I serve the country, the way I'm dedicated, my honesty, my integrity, the way I cater for all people and not just for the Muslims, they will then realize this man is indeed a true leader. I'm so motivated by the fact that he's a Muslim. You hear the point? The problem with us is, I'm a Muslim and I'm a leader. And this is obviously a lesson for all of us. So I think that because I'm a Muslim and a leader of a multicultural, multi-religious nation, I should not cater for others only for the Muslimin. No, relax. You need to cater for everyone. There will be people who are in your nation who belong to other faiths. Some of them may really think that your faith is absolutely wrong. So you tell me, you know, once I was sitting on an aircraft, and I have a lot of time on an airplane. And I had an atheist sitting next to me, and we were talking about faith, and he said, you guys are very bad. The Muslims, I said, no, you get good and bad in every faith. He said, not Islam. I'm saying, what do you mean? He said, Islam, everyone's bad. You believe in Quran? I said, yeah, Quran, we believe in Quran. He says, this Quran, it's got bad things in it. I said, what? He says, you know, it says that anyone who's not a Muslim is going to hellfire. That is very bad. You guys are filled with hatred. You guys, I said, brother, you don't believe in hellfire. Why are you worried? That's the irony. Atheist, he doesn't believe in the hereafter. And he's telling me we are bad because we believe everyone's going to hell. I said, by the way, the Christians believe the same, the Jews believe the same, the Hindus believe the same, and most other faiths believe the same. What about them? He said, no, but they don't have a Quran. I said, okay, this is a bigot. This is a person who really doesn't know. He is so uneducated. He hasn't mixed. I learned more about other faiths and inclinations and different types of people when I traveled the world. Subhanallah. I thank Allah for giving me that opportunity. I came to Malaysia. The first few times when I visited here, I didn't know. Every one of us is brought up in a certain environment. I was unaware of so many things. I learned as time passed. I've now got so many friends in Malaysia. Subhanallah.